What's going on, everybody? This is TTrom Plays Games. How are you doing? And welcome, one and all, to this video. It's going to be a little bit different than my normal bread and butter here on this channel because I want to give a quick thank you and a very heartfelt thank you for 150 subscribers. I just literally cannot fathom numbers like that. Thanks so much, everybody out there. You're blowing my mind with all the support, and I promised y'all a 150 sub special, so here we are. I am reporting to you live, well, not live, but you know what I mean. Live from the battle station, I like to call it. This is my and my wife's new PC/recording area setup. Happen to like it a lot. I felt like I was going to bookend the video with this, so I will begin and end this video by just kind of chilling here at the desk. And, what is this going to be, you might be wondering? Well, if you follow me on Twitter, then you probably have a decent idea of what this is about to be. I promised y'all a sort of room tour of sorts. I don't really have a whole lot of fancy schmancy stuff that goes into some of these YouTubers' game rooms, but I do have plenty of retro games and stuff that I want to show off. And if you're new to the channel, one of the biggest things I do here on the channel is a series called Pick Up Playtest, where I play a bunch of the games that I find. And so we shall peruse the various entries in my catalog in this video here and hopefully have some sort of moderately entertaining / informative commentary along the way. So yeah, I might not have all of the bells and whistles of, say, Snoop Dogg's The Doghouse, but I would like to take this time here to show y'all where my wife and I house our various games and game-related stuff. Oh my goodness. So yeah, there you go. Not only was that a pun, but that was my vague attempt at a sort of reference to MTV Cribs. I do like Snoop Dogg, and I promised a couple people that I would try to reference that show. So, obligation achieved. Alright, so without further ado, let's get on over here to the first shelf. There's two main shelves, and this is the first one. Just kind of do a scroll up and down here, and then I will sort of do a deep dive on each individual layer from the top working way down to the bottom. First of all, right up here at the top, we got our a nice cornucopia, a vast smorgasbord, if you will, of various stuffies and toys and stuff. There's actually some pumpkins out right now because it's never too early for spooky time, am I right? It's September as the time of this recording, so we're getting in the Halloween spirit. It's pretty awesome around here. And then from there, we move down into the actual shelf area itself, where we find our first sets of games. Over here, we have our GameCube collection, as well as back there, we have a selection of Wii titles. Up here, tucked in this little area, we have 6 3DS games, as well as a close to complete in box, if not completely complete in box, Guitar Hero On Tour, which was the DS game that had that little peripheral where you can actually plug in a guitar button sort of controller into the GBA port of your DS and then sort of like play with the buttons like that. It's kind of cool. Some GBA games that are complete in box. We have this Namco TV Arcade plug-and-play, which has Pac-Man, Bosconian, Rally X, a couple of others. I think it has Dig Dug. Really have a lot of fun with this. This is actually my childhood one, and it's one of those ones that I think, a lot of plug-and-plays might not have the best quality, but this one is actually pretty darn good. If you can find it, I definitely recommend it. Here's our DS games tucked back there. And this, I want to quickly highlight this. This is awesome. My wife was helping her mother do some deep cleaning of their old basement back not too long ago, and she found this genuine stack of Chuck E. Cheese arcade tokens. You don't get this kind of thing anymore. Everything is on freaking like cards nowadays. Like, I still love arcades, don't get me wrong, but the fact that like tokens are obsolete and now we have these as a sort of like relic of the past, that's pretty cool. I enjoy that quite thoroughly. So yeah, moving forward a little bit, we have the Super Nintendo Classic, the PlayStation Classic, and the NES Classic. I have the controllers over there back at the battle station. You may or may not have seen them at the beginning of the video. These are some little knickknacks I wanted to use to kind of like decorate the area as well. This is actually, it has two purposes. One, it's obviously a nifty little question mark block replica of sorts, but it also houses your loose Nintendo Switch carts. So if you want to just kind of display your boxes, but then you want to have quick access to the cartridges at a relatively easy pace, then you can just shove them in here, take them with you on the go. It's pretty nifty. Also have these Pac-Man and Sonic tins. I want to say these were used to contain one of those, like, just basically little, here we are, Chaos Emeralds. It was like a cherry apple sour candy, apparently, according to this tin. I think they were basically those things you could find at, like, the checkout line of some, like, video rental stores back in the day. I remember seeing these kinds of things. Yeah, there we go. Bonus fruit cherry sours. So these are probably from quite some time ago, and I still have them, so I thought they made nice accents here on this first shelf. And last but certainly not least, we have our very first set of complete in-box, like, rather retro games. I have a lot of complete in-box stuff up here, Wii, GameCube, etc. But, like, nothing older than, say, PS1 until now, because we have Bart versus the World here for NES complete in-box. And over here we have Turok 2, Seeds of Evil for Nintendo 64 complete in-box. They're not sealed, but they are CIB, and I am pretty proud of those, I must say. Also, real quick, while I'm in the area, there's some stuff that is put way up here. I need a little bit more of an idea of where to display them, but one of the things I do want to probably find a better place for is this right here. This is the commemorative launch coin that came along with events sort of leading up to, or perhaps, you know, commemorating the actual launch of Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii, so that's pretty cool. But while I'm also around in this general area, I'll put that back up there for now, just show off a couple of highlights of the GameCube collection, in my opinion. We have Zelda the Wind Waker. I believe this is my childhood copy, one of my favorite, if not my all-time favorite Zelda game. Right next to my favorite game of all time, Luigi's Mansion. Very, very fun game. Lots of charm, lots of nostalgia for that one, for sure. Also happy to have Mario Kart Double Dash. That's a very recent grab, actually, as well as Mario Party 4, 6, and 7. Missing 5 still, but we shall get that eventually. Also a pretty big fan of Pac-Man World 2. You might have actually seen my Let's Play on the channel here, as well as we got Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, some Sonic games that I have a lot of nostalgia for. But yeah, since I'm deciding to talk about highlights of certain parts of the library here, I would say that Animal Crossing City Folk is a pretty good Wii highlight of this collection we got going on here. Rail shooters like Dead Space Extraction and Resident Evil The Dark Side Chronicles are also really fun because of the intuitive way that they work, where you can just kind of easily aim with the Wii Remote and stuff. And speaking of intuitively aiming with the Wii Remote, I would argue that Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition here is one of, if not the best versions of that game to play, purely because it's the most comfortable to actually experience with the Wii Remote. Swinging it to, like, use your knife and to aim with the actual, like, infrared sensor or whatever on the front of the Wii Remote is actually really comfortable, and was my introduction to the Resident Evil 4 phenomenon, as it were. But yeah, also things like WarioWare Smooth Moves and Wario Land Shake It, Super Smash Bros. Brawl, Super Paper Mario, Galaxies 1 and 2, a couple of extra Sonic gems, just really a lot of great stuff here in the Wii section that I am very happy that we own. Okay, without further ado, let's move on down to this section right here. Feast your eyes on the NES section of the collection. Disappointingly, I just need 2 more games to kind of fill the entire space that this shelf has afforded to us, but nonetheless, I'm pretty happy with the way this turned out, aesthetically speaking. Pretty happy about a lot of these acquisitions, in all honesty. A lot of them came from actually our most recent, quite large splurge at local retro stores. Like this, for example, we got Popeye here. Can you imagine how different Nintendo would be if Popeye caught on more than Donkey Kong did? Nintendo would be just entirely different. I am not even going to deny that. Also, this is one of my favorites here, Super Mario Bros. 3, one of, if not the first video games that I actually experienced as a kid, and as such, it remains one of my all-time favorites. I am also pleased as punch to own all three of the original Castlevania trilogy here. We got 1, 2, and 3, so we got Castlevania, Simon's Quest, and Dracula's Curse, all in pretty decent shape. I'm kind of happy about that, not gonna lie. But yeah, lots of fun stuff here. Lots of nostalgia for the NES in general. It is one of my all-time favorite consoles on the whole, and I'm just really, really pleased that this collection is filling out quite nicely thus far. But moving swiftly along down here to the next shelf, we have a combination of our modest assortment of Wii U games, as well as our ever-growing catalog of Super Nintendo titles. I'm not gonna lie, I mostly put the Wii U titles over here mostly because of the fact that they fit quite snugly here as far as the layout of the shelf is concerned. Some of my favorites slash highlights of the Wii U stuff we have: Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, probably the masterclass in how to do a more modern 2D action platformer. Over here we have Super Mario Maker. This was just a pipe dream realized for me. Being able to create your own Mario levels, just, oh my goodness, that's just a highlight for sure. But I want to say one of my favorite, actually probably my favorite, I'm just going to go ahead and say it, my favorite Wii U game, after doing some thinking about it, is probably this one, Yoshi's Woolly World. Nintendo just doesn't come out with Yoshi games quite like they used to. The OG Yoshi's Island is fantastic, and this one is probably my favorite one since then. Just fantastic soundtrack, really charming platforming. It's a lot of fun to share co-op with my wife. This is a fantastic title right here. And then right next to all of our Wii U games, like I mentioned, we got the Super Nintendo titles. I am super excited to have a Super Nintendo. I didn't actually grow up with one, and we added it to our collection within the last year or so. So finally being able to start collecting these carts is a real treat. Some of my favorite entries in this part of the catalog so far are of course, the Donkey Kong Country trilogy. That's really cool to have. You really can't tell, obviously, that this is Donkey Kong Country 3, but trust me, it is. The label is unfortunately really beat up, but this is one of the only copies that my wife and I could find on our retro game hunts lately, so this one is going in the collection, and I'm going to be okay with it. I know it sticks out, but I'm actually a pretty big fan of this Spider-Man Venom Maximum Carnage cart as well. I really like the red for Spider-Man. It really stands out, but in a cool way, in my opinion. But yeah, because it took me so long to own a Super Nintendo, I am just really, really stoked that I am finally able to amass cartridges for a Super Nintendo. But real quick, I also want to sort of address the elephant on the shelf, if you will. This is obviously not Super Nintendo or Wii U related. So what is this doing here? Well, actually, I just wanted to fill that gap mostly, but this is actually a pretty cool, nifty little thing. I actually got this from my in-laws for Christmas last year. It's an ornament. You can actually see the little hook right there in the center. But what's really cool is that it's multifaceted. It's not just a decorative NES ornament. It actually has it actually opens to show you a Super Mario Brothers cartridge in there, and if you press the power button, it actually plays some music. Sound effects even too as well. Yeah, I just find that really stinking cool. So cool, in fact, that I don't want to have it just as an ornament. I want to actually have it displayed along with the rest of the collection. I think it's a Hallmark special, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think the 2021 Hallmark special for gamers is going to be the Super Nintendo with maybe some Super Mario World sound effects. Don't quote me on that, but yeah, if that's true, I'm probably going to end up wanting that one as well. All right, time to move down another level and check out the Nintendo 64 collection. This is a little daunting, I'm not going to lie, trying to arrange them in such a way that one little nudge of the front cartridge will, knock everything back in a sort of domino fashion. But in all honesty, this is the way I like to display these things. I think it looks aesthetically quite pleasing. Lots of things to highlight in here for sure, but I'll just name a few. I found GoldenEye recently, that's pretty cool. Donkey Kong 64. Rocket Robot on Wheels is back there. Probably one of my most expensive things in the collection, I guess, would be Paper Mario. It's a little scuffed up, but I did some research, and that might be one of, if not the most expensive games that my wife and I currently own, so that's kind of nifty. the Pokemon Stadium games. Also, Mario Tennis was something that I really enjoyed as a kid. I'm really happy we finally own as well. I also want to quickly shout out this cartridge in general here for Doom 64. I don't know if you collectors out there like having stickers or different things that like sort of show like, oh, this game was actually from a rental store at one point. I don't actually kind of mind it because I kind of like seeing the sort of paper trail, if you will, of these games. I think it's kind of cool, kind of like a time capsule almost, but this is new on me. You flip this one around, it has like a label for Hollywood Video, but it actually looks like they etched something into the actual shell of the cartridge. Property of Hollywood Video. Like they doubled down on it, man. This is rigid and actually looks like they had like a sort of machine or something that would basically engrave Hollywood Video right on the cartridge. That is pretty over the top, if you ask me. But yet at the same time, I kind of like it, and it kind of makes this cartridge, in my opinion, pretty unique. All right, last stop on this section of the room tour would be this shelf down here. This is for some strategy guides over here, but mostly wanted to fill this out with like hardcover collector's editions of certain things. We got the Pat Contri Ultimate Nintendo Guides to the NES and Super NES libraries. We have Nintendo 64 Anthology, Collector's Edition Guides for God of War, Super Smash Bros., Zelda Breath of the Wild, Street Fighter V, Super Mario Odyssey, Gears, a whole bunch of stuff. I also like that some books down here are more relating to overall history of video games and like history of different time periods. Like we got the Playing with Power anthology here that talks all about NES games. We have Atari Flashback, the essential collection of like information for Atari 2600 games. My wife actually surprised me with this for Christmas one year, and that was amazing. Also got like a Guinness Book of World Records. We have the official Nintendo Player's Guide that again talks about like different kinds of NES games, the ultimate history of video games right here, and just a whole bunch of nifty stuff that I think really helps round out this shelf quite nicely. But real quick, before I shift the camera over to the other side of the room, I want to just briefly nudge the camera over to this doohickey right here. If you follow me on Twitter, you might have seen this in a photo that I posted there not too terribly long ago. This is actually another plug-and-play. It is known as a Wild Adventure Mini Golf, and it actually has this is a platform that you use to rotate the player's aim. And this has, and then the sensor here on the golf ball itself is what you can use in combination with this sensor bar on the bottom of the golf club controller to actually putt your golf ball. It's pretty cool. My wife showed it off to me not too terribly long ago, and it is one nifty little plug and play, I gotta say. And all right, without further ado, let's scoot on over here to the entertainment center area. I'm not entirely sure what's going on up there on the screen. We're looking at a YouTube video from TTromPlaysGames. I don't really know who that guy is, but we also have quite an array of goodies to check out here on the entertainment center itself. Things can get pretty busy on the shelves that actually flank the entertainment center, so this is where I chose to display our Game Boy and Game Boy Color games. And I also like to use this area to display our various game systems, such as that Switch over there and that Switch over there. Yes, you might be able to tell that my wife and I are quite big fans of that system. And then the further down you go here on the entertainment center itself, we have the more retro consoles. We got an NES, an N64, the Super Nintendo, the PS1, and we also have a PS4 that's obviously a bit more modern, as well as our Wii, GameCube with GameCube, Game Boy Advance, what is it called? A Game Boy Player, that's what it's called. That peripheral down there is attached to the bottom as well. We have a pretty cool Toshiba. It's a Vcr Dvd Combo Player. Really like this a lot. I've had it since my childhood, and I don't plan on getting rid of it anytime soon. I'm a really big fan of this kind of old tech. It still works, so why get rid of it? I love it. And then right over here is the Wii U. It's a bit dusty because it doesn't really get used all that often, but it is still here and looking swell. Alrighty, moving on to the left of the entertainment center, we have the Fender Stratocaster PS4 guitar controller for Rock Band 4. I'm quite a big fan of Rock Band and music games in general, so that's pretty cool to have. And actually, before I get to the other shelf, I want to just say, tucked in the corner here, we got our Wii balance board. It is nonetheless loved, despite currently not having quite a space in the collection to have it displayed, but I can work on that for a later date. And alrighty then, let's do what we did with the other side of the room and start at the top and work our way down. Up here in the top corner, we have PC games, really old in some cases. Like we got these fantastic relics of the past, in my opinion. We got Freddy Fish, we got like humongous entertainment games of that sort. Love those types of games, edutainment, adventure, all that good stuff. I have a PC version of Rayman as well as PC version of Jeopardy. That's a lot of fun. We got the You Don't Know Jack games where there's like funny trivia questions and stuff. That's also a blast. And then over here I have put our Switch cases. A lot of these actually don't have the games in them because, as I mentioned, the like that question mark blocks thing that I showed you earlier, as well as our Switch carrying case, has most of our actual cartridges, but I did want to actually display the boxes as well and show that off here in the collection. So they sit nice and pretty right up here in the top right. So many great Switch games to highlight, but I can just call out a few here. Animal Crossing New Horizons, Game Builder Garage, Link's Awakening. We have Luigi's Mansion 3, Mario plus Rabbids. Ring Fit is a great game for like exercising, but also having a fun time as well. Really, really cool. Super Mario Maker 2 is a fantastic sequel. Just a lot of great stuff. Mario Odyssey. Really big fan of the Switch games that we have so far. Also tucked way over here in the actual upper right of the most extreme upper right of this shelf is our Nintendo DS Lite case. And all of this stuff sits atop our PS2 collection. It actually spans from side to side here on the shelf. Lots of great things to highlight here. I'm finally an owner of some of the Devil May Cry games. I really want to give those a shot. I've heard lots of great things about those. Guitar Hero games from my youth. That's always a blast. Jak and Daxter 1, 2, 3, plus Jak X Combat Racing. Those are all here. Kingdom Hearts. That's always a really fun series as well. Ratchet and Clank is back there. Just a lot of great things to shout out. And then proudly displayed in front of all of the PS2 games are some of these handheld goodies that we have. We have the aforementioned DS Lite, as well as our Game Boy Color and regular DS system. This was one of my favorite Christmas gifts I got last year. It's the Super Mario Brothers 35th Anniversary Game & Watch unit. I was expecting this to kind of be a little bit more like hard to find as time went on, but truth be told, it's actually pretty readily available, so if you want one for yourself, it shouldn't be too hard to find. And last on this shelf, but certainly not least, my wife found some of these old electronic handhelds. This is Electronic Handheld Battleship. She found these kind of things while she was helping my mother-in-law clean out her old house. We also have, over here, we have Boggle. And yeah, I know these aren't like Nintendo or Sony or anything like that, but I think these are really freaking cool to have. It's really neat to kind of like take a trip back to the past and see just how people back in the day were able to get their sort of board game fix or whatever on the go using a digitized format, and I think that's pretty neat. Alrighty then, moving on to the second shelf of this unit. We have the PS1, well, mostly PS1 shelf, and I say mostly because we also have this right here. This is the Hyperkin Retron HD. The story behind this is you play your NES cartridges, right here it's top loader, put your NES cartridges in there and you can play your NES games in HD. Your mileage may vary. I have not really had very much success with this particular unit. I might maybe invest later on in a sort of Retron HD like 2 or 3. I think they made several models by this point, so they might have made some improvements to the tech. But I personally have not had very much success with this unit. It doesn't really like work too terribly well. I much rather prefer to use the actual NES that we have, but hey, at least it's pretty cool nonetheless. But yeah, I have that nicely displayed sitting right atop the PlayStation Classic box. I felt like this was a nice bookend, or even like a label that kind of like shows you like, hey, check out all of these PlayStation games. Don't you wish that like even half of these were available on the actual PlayStation Classic console? Anyway. This took a while to put together, and it might not be the safest way in the world to display your PS1 games because they might like fall and potentially crack. But you know what? I like living on the edge, I guess. And frankly, I think once again, aesthetically speaking, this looks pretty dope. Another great slew of games, in my opinion, to shout out. We got 40 Winks here. It's a bit beat up, but that was according to the back of the box, or even like on the front of the box, it says "Move Over Mario." I don't know if you can read that, but I really want to check that out because it might be like a sort of a 3D platformer game that may or may not rival Mario. That will be interesting to check out. We got Crash Bandicoot Classics. We got Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9. That's really cool. I like that we have all of the Final Fantasy PS1 trilogy here, as well as a couple of ones that weren't considered part of the actual trilogy, but this is Origins, which has Final Fantasy 1 and 2. PS1 version of Frogger. I mean, who doesn't love Frogger? Am I right? We got Gran Turismo. We got Metal Gear Solid. Just some really solid stuff. Oh boy, another pun. Namco Museum, Need for Speed, Rocket Power, some edutainment games, a SpongeBob game, a Sim theme park game, a Star Wars game, just a mishmash of retro PlayStation 1 goodness that I'm quite proud of, and I'm going to be pretty happy to continue to add to as the years go on. I'm a really big fan of collecting games for this system in general. It's a lot of fun. Alrighty, just below the PlayStation 1 shelf is the PlayStation 3, PlayStation 4, Xbox 360, and even, yes, one lone little Xbox One game here. We have Titanfall 2. That was actually given to me for free by one of my friends. So, yep, that is now officially the only Xbox One game that I own. But, yep, here is the next shelf. And, oh, by the way, do you see those little boxes back there? They're actually not quite little, they're actually fairly large. Those are actually two boxes that have Donkey Konga bongo controllers in them. Real quick, I'm actually going to shift back over to the GameCube area for just a second. And here they are. These are the Donkey Konga games, 1 and 2 here. They are actually rhythm games that you use these bongo controllers in order to play. I really do recommend them if you can find them. They are quite a treat and a really nice addition to your Nintendo-based rhythm games. But yeah, those bongos are back there behind our 360, Xbox One, PS3, and PS4 games. There's definitely some shout-outs for games that I want to give here real quick. I don't play a whole lot of first-person shooter games, but Bulletstorm is an obnoxiously good time, a very funny game with a lot of high-octane action. One of my favorite survival horror genre slash like series rather as of late is the Dead Space series. I'm really happy that EA is reviving this series with the remaster, so hopefully that does well. We can get like another entry in the series. Gears of War is also one of my all-time favorite series that I started playing on the Xbox, and I since got like Gears 5 and Tactics on Steam, so that's a really fun series for me as well. Also a big fan of like more Ratchet and Clank games, God of War, BioShock Infinite. We have the PS4 over here. We got the Crash Insane trilogy, more Kingdom Hearts, even more Ratchet and Clank, Resident Evil 7. Just a lot of great stuff. Oh, Uncharted. Can't even forget about Uncharted. And then, funnily enough, tucked right here in the corner, these are actually blank CD cases. I mostly just put them there for now because they fill the space, and I plan on using those for any like loose disc-based games that don't come with the original case, so that I can like maybe print out my own cover art and stuff, and you know, use those to display instead of just like a sleeve or whatever they might come in like in the store. Moving right along, it's time to go down to this shelf down here, and as you can see, pretty much right away, this is where I have decided to put our Game Boy Advance cartridges, so we have those kind of lining the front of the shelf here like so. Back behind the GBA games, we have our boxes for the NES and Super NES Classic Editions, as well as this pretty awesome, in my opinion, metal promo lunchbox that was given to me as a pre-order bonus from Target, if I'm not mistaken, when I picked up Super Mario Maker 2. This is pretty decent quality for a free bonus for buying a game, and I happen to think it's quite awesome. And then to round off the shelf, we have some memory cards for like GameCube, PS1, PS2 tucked over in this corner, and this one is another one of those handheld things, kind of like the Boggle and Battleship that I showed earlier, but this is Sudoku. And what I think is pretty nifty about this is it's actually touchscreen as well. It comes with a stylus on the back here, and you actually just pop this out, kind of like a DS system, and use that to play Sudoku. I am abysmally awful at Sudoku, but if you like stuff like that, you like brain-bending puzzles such as Sudoku, well then this could be right up your alley. Okie dokie, much like the shelf that I showed earlier, this is the final area of this particular set of shelves, and once again houses a smorgasbord of strategy guides and different informational books and what have you. I'm not gonna lie, I got a little lazy. I was alphabetizing them for a while, but then that sort of faded off as time goes on because I started getting more and more and more. But what's really cool about this in particular, I like to say anyway, is that I'm very proud that a lot of these came from my youth. I used to get a lot of strategy guides along with games for Christmas gifts, and I'm really glad that I kept them and could add them to a shelf like this. I've had an idea kicking around in my head for quite some time that maybe one day on this channel, like kind of similar to Pick Up Playtest where I show you games that I've picked up, I might do a series just on books, like strategy guides and info guides and anthologies and different things like that, kind of show you the books in more detail as well. So let me know what you think about that, because I might be trying that sometime in the future. We'll have to see. Alrighty, that is pretty much going to wrap up the shelving unit section of this video. I'm just going to do a quick little recap here, showing y'all what we have been looking at for the last little while as a sort of a recap, a sort of a refresher. And obviously, if you want more details, you can just go back to that part in the video. And I have been having quite a bit of fun showing y'all all this stuff so far, but believe it or not, I have a few little extra things I want to show just for kicks that didn't get to like properly be displayed on the shelves, but that I am happy that we have in our like vast cornucopia of gaming goodness nonetheless. And so here we are. I just arranged a bunch of random goodies here on this couch, and we shall just quickly peruse and check out some of these. There's my Cappy Cap, if you will. Super Mario Odyssey is a fantastic game. If you haven't played it yet, then I highly recommend it. We got some extra plushes, I think, from GameStop not too long ago. We got Boo, Chain Chomp, and Cheep Cheep. Speaking of plushes, down here, my boy, Thomas Nook from Animal Crossing New Horizons, complete with his Nook Inc. vacation wear. Very cute. Sitting nice and proud across the way from Yoshi. This is actually a giant Yoshi that my wife won at an arcade not too long ago, and she is quite happy with him, and so am I. Speaking of Yoshi, a slightly smaller but nevertheless quite adorable addition here is a Yoshi Yarn Amiibo. Yes, there's actually an Amiibo in his foot here. You scan that as the Amiibo. But just a really cool Amiibo. It's hand knit, and it stands on its own. Really cool. Very happy that we have this. Sitting right next to this Game Over game controller pillow that actually claims to glow in the dark. I have not tried this out yet. I haven't held it up to like an LED or anything yet to like give it some time to charge, but that could be pretty cool if it works. All right, over here we have a Game Boy Color and a Switch carrying case. Those are pretty nifty. Here we have a third-party Wii wheel right across the way from an actual first-party Nintendo Wii wheel. These were basically just plastic shells that you could put a Wii remote in to play Mario Kart Wii and such, but hey, they sold them, and it's pretty cool to have these in the collection because, hey, if Nintendo says licensed by Nintendo on it, you will probably be tempted to buy a hunk of plastic just like this if you're a collector, am I right? Although they might not be as cool as what I consider to be probably the best controller we own. This is my wife's, actually, from her childhood, Nintendo GameCube Wavebird controller. Just, oh man. That control stick clacking sound from a GameCube controller is just quintessential classic. This is the controller that came with the Hyperkin Retron HD that I showed off earlier. I wanted to show it off mostly because I think it's kind of cool how they did the rounded edges thing. I won't say it's like the best thing ever, but it's a little bit different than the harsh rectangle of the actual NES controller, so it's kind of cool for all that. I want to move back here now and show off something I've been eating the last few days. Tried it out, and it's actually pretty delicious. I recommend Pokemon cereal. It's berry bolt flavored. The best way I can describe berry bolt is basically it's got a little zip to it, but it mostly tastes like Tricks. If you've ever had Tricks, it's like Tricks with marshmallows with a little bit of a kick to it. It's not like a spicy kick or anything, but it definitely has a unique zing, and it's quite delicious. It's got some evolution trivia and some different trivia over here on the side. But yeah, we wanted to keep at least one box for the collection because that's pretty cool. I wonder how long Pokemon cereal will stay on the shelves, but if it doesn't, then we have a box for memorabilia's sake. And then next we have this really, really cool looking collector's edition Kingdom Hearts Ultimania, the story before Kingdom Hearts 3 reference book. It's really cool. It's got like art and recaps of all the different games and stuff. We got like I said, like art, concept art. We got keyblades. We got like profiles on the different Organization 13 members and other characters that you can find. Just really, really cool. Very comprehensive book. Very sleek design, and I'm a real sucker for hardcover stuff like this, so quite a fine edition indeed. Moving along to this Monopoly Animal Crossing New Horizons edition. If you are bored with Animal Crossing New Horizons for Switch while you're waiting for the next update, then you might want to give this a try. I haven't sat down to play a full game yet, but from what I can tell and what I've researched and stuff, this is a pretty unique version of the game. The idea is to actually collect Nook Miles, kind of similar to the actual game, and your characters have skills like fishing and what have you, like bug catching, things like that. So overall, I would say this is a pretty unique version of Monopoly, and plus, it's Animal Crossing themed, so you know I gotta pick it up. Next, we have this pretty neat little set of Pac-Man-centric drink coasters. We got like stuff for the ghosts, we've got some of the collectibles, we got Pac-Man himself, and they all came in this cool little coaster set tin that also has art on it, which is pretty darn cool. And last but not least, what I wanted to show off here on the couch, little smorgasbord arrangement I have here, we stopped by a comic book store fairly recently, and I picked up some Mario and Zelda manga. And this actually, this is actually not from the comic store, but this was actually another book I wanted to show off. This is How to Win at Nintendo Games, Volume 4 by Jeff Rovin. I like this mainly because it reads like a novel instead of like a strategy guide. So it was kind of a unique grab. It caught my eye. And just to see this have like 4 volumes worth of information, like I really kind of want to find the other volumes, you know what I'm saying? That's going to wrap up this particular section of the video. I just wanted to show off a few extra things that may or may not have direct places on the shelving units themselves, but I felt like I wanted to show off nonetheless. And here I am, back where it all began. Told you I was going to bookend the video by sitting here at the computer battle station, if you will. While I'm here, I might as well show you a few extra things that I use to sort of decorate the area. We got the King K. Rool amiibo, as well as the Banjo-Kazooie figure. This isn't a an amiibo, but it's actually a pretty nifty figure nonetheless, and I'm happy to have that. We have the, I mentioned it earlier, but I used the Classic Edition controllers as sort of accents here on the desk. There's the NES, Super NES, and PlayStation 1 classic ones all there. We have the, this is my 2DS XL, if I'm not mistaken. This also, I thought, was a nice accent here. Over here, I got this adorable Espeon figure from my sister as a Christmas gift last year, and this is our Link's Awakening Link amiibo as well. Over here I have this, this is a Pokemon token of some kind. Forgive me, I have no idea who this Pokemon is. I think it's a bit past my generation of expertise, so feel free to let me know who that might be. This is also my desk fidget spinner to keep myself occupied while I'm like waiting for videos to render and whatnot. Why not? My wife is an accountant for a furniture company. That's why this is a Serta brand fidget spinner. And this is literally, I took a picture of this not too long ago. This is literally a bottle of Mountain Dew that I just put here in this cup holder that like lights up and also has a button here that like actually keeps your drinks cold. You press it and it actually makes this noise. I don't know if you can hear it. And that is in the process of I guess, making cold this bottle of Mountain Dew. But I basically just leave it here as a prop, just to be like, yeah, dude gamer bros, am I right? Anyway, I think that's pretty much going to put the lid on this video. I had a lot of fun filming this. I have to go back and do a lot of editing, obviously, to kind of put this all together for a hopefully presentable experience on YouTube. But if you're watching this, then it made its way to the internet somehow, and I hope that you enjoyed this. And as always, thank you for all of the support. So many followers on Twitter and so many subscribers here on YouTube. In fact, this is the whole reason I'm doing this video. 150 subscribers. Unbelievable. I'm so thankful to everybody out there. Thanks for all the support, and I really hope to continue to churn out content that resonates with y'all for quite some time to come. Until the next upload here on the TTrom Plays Games YouTube channel, I've been your host, TTrom Plays Games. Thanks so much for watching. Feel free to reminisce with me about anything that you saw in this video. Feel free to hit me up in the comments or on Twitter about any of the games you saw, any of the extra accessories you saw. Let me know what you're thinking. Let me know what you're feeling. Definitely feel free to converse with me in the comments, and just in general, once again, thanks everybody for all of the support. Until next time, take care of yourselves. Have an absolutely fantastic rest of your day.